With needing a caregiver 24/7 for the last 4.5 years, I have had some very interesting experiences. I will be sharing some of those with you guys today. So stick around, it's coming up next. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and welcome to another Discussion Friday. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the little bell for post notifications. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. It's nice to have you again. Also, don't forget to check out my previous video and previous vlog at the end of the video. Stick around. In today's Discussion Friday video, I will be sharing some stories with you about experiences I've had with caregivers over the last 4.5 years. With needing a caregiver for with needing a, oh my god.
Come on, Zach, come on.
With needing a caregiver 24/7. Kazel!
Sorry.
With needing a caregiver 24/7 for the last 4.5 years, I have had some very interesting experiences. This video should be very interesting and highly entertaining, so I hope you guys enjoy. Now, for the most part, the caregivers I've had over the last 4.5 years have been very good, and I've built a lot of close relationships with a lot of them. But there have been a few instances where I have had some not so good experiences with caregivers, and that is what I will be sharing with you guys today. So to start, we have to go all the way back to the beginning of college, 4.5 years ago. So my mom stayed around a couple of days to train the new people, just kind of get them acquainted with me and show them how to take care of me, just because it was the first time and we were going to rely on a complete stranger to take care of me. So she stayed around to make sure I was comfortable, to make sure they were comfortable. And this is where one of the bad experiences started. So, of course, I was with my mom, so every once in a while we kind of wanted to get some free time, get away from the caregiver just for a little bit, like go out to dinner or something, stop at Walmart, grab some stuff. But no, the guy that I had with me, he had to follow us everywhere. And it got pretty annoying because he was like following us everywhere. And I mean everywhere. And yeah, it got on me and my mom's nerves just because we wanted to have some time away and maybe we wanted to discuss how the caregiver was doing and if I was going to be comfortable and all that kind of stuff. And we didn't really feel comfortable discussing that in front of him because we didn't want to make him feel bad or anything. So that's where it all started, and that was my first bad experience, which that one is very mild compared to the other ones. So the next story I have for you guys is I had a caregiver, and she seemed pretty good at first, but then I think she started to get a little too comfortable, and she would just tell me everything on her mind. And one of these things was, as she was driving my van, with me in it, she says to me, "Yeah, I flipped a van like this once before." And I was like, oh my god, is this going to be my last day? That's not something you should tell someone when you're driving them around. I was absolutely terrified, and I never wanted her to drive again. And since we're talking about this girl, another problem with her was one day I was just sitting there playing video games, minding my business, and me and her kind of started just chatting a little bit, and she turns to me and says, "You know, if you really wanted to, you could probably walk. I was like, I don't think so. That's not really how muscular dystrophy works. There would have to be a cure for me to walk. And she continued on saying that, well, sometimes people with cancer, their cancer just goes away, so you never know. I was like, nope, still doesn't work that way. Cancer and muscular dystrophy, two different diseases that act two different ways. So after that comment from her, she was done. I didn't want to be around that and listen to that anymore. So that is the end of that story. So this next story is probably the worst one, and it's one that horrified me the most. Caregiver, what are you doing? I'm trying to make a video.
You said a story. Go on, go.
I can't when you're eating popcorn.
Oh.
You really make popcorn just to listen to my stories?
Yeah, you're interesting.
Oh,
You want some?
sure. I mean, might as well take some if you're going to be eating it.
Are we still recording?
That's some good popcorn. But yeah, we're still recording. Kazel, get out of here.
Why?
Let me finish my video.
I want to hear the story.
Well, you can still hear it, but you're in the video.
Oh, I'm in. How do I look?
Well, okay, I guess.
Thank you.
I can't record when you're chomping on your popcorn, though.
Am I too loud?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, we took care of that issue. Now, let's continue with the video here. So, as I was saying, this next story, I just can't catch a break today.
Do you want some popcorn?
No, I'm recording a video. Oh my gosh. Finally, we can get back to the video. Kazel finally decided to leave me alone. So, this next story is the worst, like I said. This story is about me getting left. So, I had a caregiver one time. She was working overnight, and the person the next day had called in or they didn't show up. I can't quite remember. But she had somewhere to go, so she was pissed off, and she called the office, and they said somebody was going to be there, and it was probably like 2 hours later after she called, and they weren't able to find anyone yet. So she decided to put the trash can in between the door of my dorm room, and she decided to leave. And let me tell you, I was still in bed, so I was absolutely terrified because I was stuck in bed, I couldn't move, couldn't do anything, and I didn't have a caregiver there. So yeah, I was extremely scared, so I just started screaming as loud as I could. I started screaming help, and thankfully the RA next door was a good friend of mine, and he finally heard me and peeked his head in the door and asked if everything was okay, which I was so thankful for that. I was so relieved that someone heard me, and I just told him what was going on, and he came in, got my phone for me, and called the office for me so I could talk to them, and I got them to send someone, and my friend stuck around for a while until someone showed up and just watched TV with me, so that made me feel a lot better. And yeah, somebody showed up, and yeah, that was just the worst experience ever that I've ever had, and I hope I never have to go through that again. I hope that person was fired, and I hope they no longer have a license to do caregiving, because I don't want anyone else to have to go through that. That was the worst experience ever. So this next story I have for you guys is about two caregivers fighting. So this one should be very entertaining. So there was this girl working, and the next lady showed up late, and this had pissed off the girl that was working. So she kind of confronted her about it and asked her why she's always late, because this lady was known for being late. I mean, it was like 5 to 10 minutes late every time, but every time that gets to be a little much. So it pissed this girl off, so she confronted her about it. And things were okay for a while. Like, they were just discussing it, and she was just asking her why she was always late, which I guess was kind of rude, but anyways, things got really heated when this girl said to this other lady, she said, "I don't abandon my kids for work like you do." And that's when it took a turn for the worse. This lady started telling her to get the F out and all this kind of stuff, started cussing at her, and they were screaming really loud. And I was just sitting there on my computer, my face turned really red, and I was just like, okay, when is this gonna get over with? Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. I hope they don't like start a fist fight or something. And I was thinking that everyone in the dorm building could hear them. So I really hope that they couldn't. But that was both a scary and funny moment at the same time. So this lady that was always late, she was really good. I really liked her a lot, and I got along with her really well until she got a little too comfortable and a little careless. So I'm sure all of you have heard of Pokemon Go, but she was really into playing this game. She played it with another client, and her son played it. And every once in a while, when we were out driving, she would pull out her phone to get Pokemon and or stop at Pokestops or however you play that game. I'm not quite sure about it. I was never really into it. But yeah, she would play this as we were out driving around. And one time we went to one of Gunner's baseball games about 30 minutes away from Omaha. And we were on the interstate, and she decided to pull out Pokemon Go on the interstate. So that was a little scary. Well, I guess it wasn't on the interstate, but it was around the area of the town that we were going to. But still, you shouldn't be playing Pokemon Go while you're driving. And she was also kind of just getting kind of mean, kind of making mean comments just because she was really close to me, and she kind of got a little too comfortable, and yeah, that it just created a lot of tension, and I just had to get rid of her. I really wish I didn't have to. I wish it didn't come to that. I really liked her, but it just had to be done. So to go along with this, it was probably a year after this lady had been let go with me that we were in Lincoln for my cousin's wedding, and this lady happened to be staying at the same hotel, which was very ironic. It was very weird. I went past her a couple times, and she acted like she didn't even know who I was. So that was kind of weird. We ran into her in the elevator, and she just acted like she didn't know who I was, who my family was, and she was just like, "Oh, we'll just get the next elevator." So that was very, very bizarre, and I just thought it kind of went along with the story since we were talking about this lady. So I thought I would share that. So this last story I have for you guys today isn't really about a caregiver, because this story involves Tim, which if you guys have been watching my vlogs for a while, you know who Tim is. He used to be one of my caregivers in Omaha, and now we're just really close friends. So, the story isn't about him being a bad caregiver, because you guys know he's a great caregiver and I love Tim. But one day he went down to the cafeteria to grab me some food or something. I can't quite remember. And of course it was bad timing. A couple seconds after he left, I had to pee really bad. And I was laying in bed because I was sleeping at the time, and you know, I like to sleep in, so he was going to get me some food or something before I waked up. Oh my god. He was going to get me some food or something before I woke up, and I just couldn't hold it. I tried really hard, and my muscles just wouldn't allow my bladder to do it, and I ended up peeing the bed. So, yeah, that was a little embarrassing. I promise I'm not like a child. I just obviously can't get out of the bed and go to the bathroom or hold it. So, yeah, when he got back, he had a little surprise there for him, and it wasn't too big of a deal. We got it cleaned up and everything, and got me cleaned up. So, I just thought I'd share that because it was just a really embarrassing and kind of funny moment that I had experienced. It was just really bad timing. Well, guys, that's going to do it for this week's Discussion Friday. I hope you enjoyed all these stories. I definitely have a lot of interesting experiences, but with having caregivers for 24/7 the last 4.5 years, the stories have added up. So I will see you guys next time on Discussion Friday. Keep rolling. Peace. Don't forget to get some Jorgey merch for the perfect Christmas gift. Now until December 19th, you can get 10% off any order of Jorgey merch if you use promo code LASTCHANCE. So if you haven't done so yet, go check it out and get 10% off.